Oh, it's finally done. See, this is a great day because Junior, Terry, and well, a little bit of me finally got the IROC ready for its full-on road test and review. We did a QA1 suspension from front to back, a full TMI interior, and now it's finally time for me to get behind the wheel and drive the heck out of this thing. Welcome to a great episode of IROC Rehab. I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting to get back behind the wheel of this IROC for another test drive for, what, 2 years now? You know, sometimes good things come to those who wait, and this was one of those instances. Now, you might remember in the first series of IROC Rehab, we did a bunch of work to this thing, right? We did a new engine, new transmission, some bolt-on suspension bits, and that was it. And when I say that was it, that was quite a bit to do. The whole idea behind the Rehab series is to do as you enjoy, right? Revive, rejuvenate, drive, enjoy. That's really what Rehab is. We're not restoring. And you know, if you're a fan of the series, what you've always seen is us doing little things a little bit at a time, but never once taking the car off the road. Now, you might remember that since we replaced the engine and transmission, we did that because, well, one, the original engine we blew up, and then the transmission was just the original 4-speed slush box automatic. And I mean, it's not really fun, especially for a car like the IROC. The fact is, back in '87, everybody wanted an IROC with a manual, and Season 1 concentrated on that. But this is Season 2, and the great part about it is we just finished, as you saw, all the work with the suspension in the interior. We've really taken this thing to the next level, and right now I'm going to tell you how it is on the road. First, let's talk handling. In Season 1, we did a bunch of bolt-on bits that definitely improved the handling over the IROC's then 36-year-old suspension. Well, now it's 2 years later, the car's 38 years old, and new strides have been made by a bunch of companies, but especially by QA1.
Now, we've been lucky enough to get the QA1 Level 2 handling kit, and that's pretty damn good. So, what does the kit include? Well, you get their double adjustable struts in the front, their adjustable coilover shocks in the rear, then you get the tubular engine crossmember / K-frame, some frame connectors, transmission mount, new torque arm, sway bars front and rear.
The beautiful part about this kit is that it can take a car like this, which from the factory had okay handling, and now it's a real pro touring car. Now it's a car that really has some legs under it, that not only can you drive every day if you wanted to, kind of like we are now, but they give you the infinite adjustability to take to the road course, the autocross, to basically any situation you want it to be in, and really, really explore the limits of the car. One of the things Terry, myself, and Junior all agreed on was the engineering on the kit, right? When you talk about the engine crossmember, well, you could put a variety of engines into that crossmember, right? Whether it's an LS, whether it's a traditional small block. And that's something for enthusiasts that we all love. Because listen, if you wanted to rebuild the stock engine, you know, the stock L98, you could do that in this thing. If you wanted to go LS, we decided to go traditional small block. But with their kit, it doesn't matter what we do because it's been addressed by them, and we could literally put a number of power plants in here. The same is said for the transmission. Now, on Season 1, you saw us put a TKX 5-speed, and that really, really transformed the car, right? It enabled us to row through the gears, have a great time with the car, and really just kind of get the combination of IROC that you could never get back in '87, which was the 350 with the manual. What we also love is on the front suspension, you've got, you know, double adjustable struts, which are great, but the way that it's set up with the initial K-frame is that it's a much lighter unit than the standard one, about 30 pounds lighter. The other part of that is it gives you the adjustment for caster, camber, and then along with that, you have much more tire clearance as well, meaning you could put more rubber on the front if you decide to do so. So say if you want to keep your stock IROC rims on the car, you could do that. But if you have a set of wheels that you want to take to the track that are running a much bigger wheel and tire, you can do that too. And that's for enthusiasts, that's great. So with all the QA1 bits and bobs installed, well, what does that mean from the driver's seat? How does the car feel? Well, one, the car is definitely stiffer. I mean, if you ever drove a stock IROC, from the factory, these cars were while they handled okay, they were rattle boxes. This car feels very, very composed now. You know, when we first went out for just kind of the initial test drive around the block, immediately we noticed that, oh my God, this doesn't feel like an IROC anymore, because underneath, it's really not. I mean, QA1 has taken it to the next level. But what that also does is it just inspires confidence. And I think at day's end, that's what you're really looking for in any type of performance car, be it a sport car, be it a pro touring car, or be it your daily driver, right? The harder you drive it, the more confidence you want to have. And QA1, I have to take my hat off to them because they have done a masterful job. Here's something else you need to know. When we installed it, everything fit. Everything fit beautifully. And I'm not just saying that. You know, we do obviously do work with them, but we had discussions with them and a number of other companies about, well, this is what we want the car to do. They broke it down in the simplest layman's terms for us to say, Mike, you know, we know you could drive a car. This is what we do. When we got to the install, Junior, who's a master technician, and Terry McGean, they were both amazed that, oh my God, everything went in perfectly. That's huge. Because if you're in this hobby and you decide to build a car, you've been down the road where you're like, you get a kit from somebody and you look at it and you're like, God damn it, this doesn't fit, or this doesn't fit well, or whatever the case is. The QA1 engineering is spot on, and I would truly, and I'm not just saying this, I would recommend it to anyone, because this car right now is a different machine. And it's really good. It's really good. If you own any muscle car from the 80s, if you own a Camaro, if you own a Fox body, if you own a G body, the fact of the matter is part of the fun on those cars was throwing it through a corner and just being able to sling it sideways. With the QA1 suspension, that's not the goal. The goal is to make you stay in the corner. The goal is to plant you. The goal is to make you feel the confidence going through the corner. Can you slide it? Well, yeah, if you sidestep the clutch and you toss it around, you can. But what I'm amazed at is how glued the car feels to the road. And what I mean by that is it does not want to step out going through the corner. It feels very, very confidence inspiring. Now that we know the car handles beautifully, and I can't wait to take it onto a racetrack, cue up season 3. Let's talk about what we did on the inside, okay? So we worked with the guys at TMI, and the interior that they provided for this car is nothing short of outstanding. And you know, it's one of those things where, and I hate to say this, so many parts in the aftermarket do not fit. You will get them, you'll try to put them in, the plastic's cracked, they're made just terribly. The TMI stuff rocks, and I'm gonna say that again, it rocks. So those of you out there will be like, Mike, Jesus, they gave you the stuff, it's fine, you know, they're part of the whatever. You know what, just stop and understand that there are still companies and enthusiasts out there that want to give you a good product, that are made up of enthusiasts, that are made up of car owners, that are proud to work for that company because they know their product is good. So let's get into it. What did we do to the interior? Everything. The whole thing's brand new, right? Beautiful door panels, beautiful seats, center console lid, full carpeting. The other thing that we did was we insulated the hell out of this thing with some Hushmat and their silencer Megabond foam. Now, as we're driving, most people know that in the 80s, the quality of GM cars, as far as the interior plastics, let's face it, they were crap, okay? The TMI door panels are much thicker than stock. When you combine that with the Hushmat and the silencer Megabond foam, everything is tight. You go through the whole car with a screwdriver, you make sure everything is in its place. It is a completely different car from a driving perspective regarding the interior noise level. What I like about them is they provide plenty of padding. There's loads of lateral and lumbar support. And you know, if you come out of a stock IROC seat, odds are the bolstering and the padding is just worn down after almost 40 years, as was with ours. But these, I'm in. I like it. And more importantly, they're comfortable. While we had the entire car apart, we said, okay, well, if we're gonna do the interior, let's do every seal that we could in the car as well. And what I mean by that is let's do the hatch seals, let's do the door seals, let's do the hood seal. Because what people don't realize is that over time, especially when you're talking about a 35-plus-year-old car, all that weather stripping wears out. It becomes hard, it becomes brittle. And if you're familiar with GM rubber from the 80s, you'll notice that especially around the door seals, they will crack and they'll just kind of, the rubber will get hard and kind of flake off in your hands. The nice part about the Steele Rubber Products seals is that, one, they fit perfectly, they're super easy to install, and they really help insulate the car. And when you combine that with the new interior door panels, the Hushmat, the thickness of just the carpet and everything else, what you have is an interior that feels brand new, because essentially it is. Right now, we have one hell of an IROC. Is it done? Are they ever? Really? I mean, are they ever done? Right? You know, one of the things that while we were building the car and while we were putting it back together that we touched on was, well, eventually we got to put brakes in this, because we still have the like original 10-inch mini discs on here. And do they stop the car? Sure, they do. But these are not track brakes. These are road brakes, and even for road brakes, they are not fabulous. You know, the calipers are tiny, one piston, the discs are small, both front and rear. So that's going to be next. We have to do that. Another item that you might want to eventually address is the exterior. I mean, if you look at the paint, I mean, this is a solid 15-footer, right? There are cracks in the fiberglass, you know, on the body cladding. There are chips, there are scratches, there's some dings here and there. What I like about that is, drive it to the supermarket, drive it to the wherever you want, daily this thing, right? Nobody's gonna look at this thing and be like, it's a show car. Now, if they look underneath, they're gonna be like, ooh, that's kind of cool. But again, perfect daily, perfect pro touring car, perfect hot rod to take out and enjoy. You know, mechanically, again, brakes, exterior, do it or don't. Who cares? I like it the way it is, man. So there you have it. Season 2 of IROC Rehab in the books. If you're in the market, do me a favor, head on over to Hemmings Marketplace, check it out, see if you could find one, because I promise, you know, you're not going to be upset. Don't miss out on your dream car. Buy it, get behind the wheel. You know, it's one of the few hobbies, if you do it right, you can enjoy your money and not lose a dime if you do it right. Guys, gals, everyone, that's season 2 of IROC Rehab. Do me a favor, tell us what you think of the car. Tell us what you would do to your IROC. And then tell us what you want to see in season 3. I gave you a couple of hints, but if you want to see other stuff, let me know. We'll try to work it in, because I got news. This car is a hell of a lot of fun, and we wanted to stick around for quite some time. Oh, and remember, make sure to like and subscribe to the Hemmings YouTube channel so we can keep bringing you shows like Rehab and many others. Talk to you later.